YouTube and welcome to another XD tutorial. Today we're gonna make an app that is some kind of a sales app that sells furniture, in this case a chair, and we're gonna have a card animated from a small card to a big card. So that's what we're gonna do today. Start by taking the actually I have a symbol here that you can get if you go to File and UI Kits and Apple iOS. You can find this symbol that is just the top bar. So start by dragging that in, and then we will record with the square tool. Just draw a square, kind of like that, not all the way down, but 2/3, and let it go, and then drag this image. I found it on Unsplash, where you can get a lot of great images. So if you search for 411332 on Unsplash, you will probably find this one. So I'll just drag that one in and delete the border. So there we have a nice view of a chair and of some chairs in this table. And this is the chair that this app is going to sell. So you press V or this icon, select tool, and right click and send to back. So you get this part visible again. And then we start by drawing. Actually, we can make the background in appearance. You can have the fill and make it a little bit off-white so that it's not completely white. And then we're going to make two cards here, one card here and one card kind of off screen that you've seen a lot of UIs have. And so we start by just drawing out one of the cards, pretty big, but not huge, like that. And delete the border and make the radius to, let's say, 8. Let's do 10. Okay. And now you can have a choice. In iOS now, the big shadow is the newest thing. So let's do that. Let's take a shadow and do it Y is 3, that's good. And then B, let's go up to 12. Actually, let's go to 16. So it's really blurry. And we can make it a bit less. It's 16% black now. Let's make it 10% black. Right, now we have the first kind of card. And then I just drag in this image, which is the image of the chair, and just drag it in and make it smaller like that and place it in the corner of this card. All right. And then this chair is called the White M's style DSV chair. And it got oak legs. So let's just type that here as a heading. All right. And let's make a line break there and select the select tool again. And let's do that in some serif font. Let's take it Bodini or something. Yep, that's nice. And a little bit smaller. Let's delete that. All right, and then let's keep that and put it there instead. Make the image a little bit bigger so you can see it. And then we're going to make a button here where we can have the price. So let's just quite a large button like that, 55 with height, corners round. And let's make that in some color that pops, like pink. And then that is, let's do it 179 Let's do it in euro, and let's make that in San Francisco bold, and let's make it all white. Okay, and center that in the button like that. So now the card is finished, and then just group that, Command G, and copy it and paste it, Command C, Command V, and then drag it out here. And in this one, we can just change to 79, and we take like just type something different. Because that it doesn't really matter right now, but it's just to make it look a bit different than that. Okay, so if you have cards like this that you have to swipe sideways, normally there's some kind of dots down here. So draw, and with the circle tool, just draw a circle and then repeat grid and make them like 5 of them and put them a little bit closer together. And then ungroup the grid again so that every circle is separated. Take the last 4 ones and make them, well, that's good, but make the circles gray. So that we're on the first one, and there's 4 more that you can't see here. Maybe this one was a bit too big. Let's make it a little bit smaller like that. All right, that looks better. Now what we're going to do is we're going to animate this card and make it almost take over the whole screen. So we're going to take this view, copy and paste it so that we duplicate it. And now what happens normally when you click a card like this, the shadow disappears or gets less shadowy, and then this card gets smaller at first before it grows so that it's more organic. So now we just take this card and we make it smaller. Just hold Shift and Alt once you drag this, and then it will be better. So that's the first step. And then double click the background and make the shadow blur. The Y is set to 2 and the shadow blur, set the blur to 10. Okay. So when you click this, it's gonna get smaller at first, and the shadow will be a little bit less shadowy, or the depth won't be as big. And then we duplicate this again. And the most important thing here is that the group here has to be, so this is group 1, and this also has to be group 1, because when you animate it later, the name here is what the animation will look at. And then on the last image, you take the group, you double click the background, and you make that very large, like this. And then at the same time, you take this one, this group, and drag it over to the side so that it shows a bit, but not a lot. So maybe 1 or 2 pixels are still in the frame. And then make this bigger and put it center. And then this image of the chair, you double click it to select it, and you drag it up here and make it bigger, like that. And all of these buttons, or these dots, just send them to back, send to back. That way the card will be over them. And the heading, Just drag it up here and drag the button. You can actually group the button. You have to group the button on every image. And then drag it, whoops, drag the button down here. Make the text, the heading a bit bigger, so that can be 20 now. Maybe even more, 30. Yeah, it's big. And then take the text tool, draw a square. And then in Adobe XD, you can now have plugins. So I have added the plugin Lorem Ipsum. So you just drag out a text tool, and with the select tool selected, let's see, I have to drag out the text tool and type some text. Test. And take that in San Francisco. And 16. And let's do that a little bit off black. And then with the select tool selected, you select that box, the text box. You take the plugins, Lorem Ipsum, and fill with placeholder text. And then insert text. And that way we have the Lorem Ipsum text here. So now all we have to do now, it looks good, it's nice. And now we have to do the animation part. So I've saved it. And I go to the prototype mode up here. And then I select this card. I drag it over to this frame. And on tap, I want to auto animate. And I want that to take 0.2 seconds. So that goes from when you click this card, it will just be a bit smaller. That's all that's going to happen when you click it. And then on this frame, I want the whole frame to turn into that frame, but not when I tap it, but after time. And I want the time to be 0 seconds so that it feels like you just click this and then it all happens. Auto animate, and this can actually take a bit longer, so 0.4 seconds. Maybe we'll experiment with this time duration a little bit. Okay, and then when you're here, when you click this, it gets smaller and then it grows up to this. And then when you're here, you have to be able to get back to this view. So now we take the design tool again and we draw a circle up here. And let's make it dark gray. And the select tool, and let's zoom in a bit on this and make a close X. So let's remove the border, make it width 3, height 20, border radius 4, I think 2 is enough, and then just rotate it, and Command C, Command V to copy and paste, and then rotate that to make it an X, and then group this whole X. And then select that, go back to prototype, and drag that back to here with auto animate. And that can go 0.3 maybe. So now hopefully what will happen is that we click this, it turns into this screen, it gets a bit smaller, and when it grows, this one will be pushed to the side, and this card will grow. The share will grow as well. The heading will move up here and grow, and this button will turn up down here over those dots, and then there will be some more text. So let's try it out. Let's click the play button and click this one. Yeah. This button doesn't animate perfectly. It actually doesn't look good at all. And that is, so this button we have to do something about. Let's go back to the design tool. And in this one, I didn't group it. So let's group that one. And that is group 6. On this one, it is group 4. And on this one, it is group 3. So that's why it doesn't work. This one, it has to be called group 6 on every. So let's take this, group 6, copy that one, drag it over here, delete that one, and take the group 6 instead. And in this one, do the same thing. Copy, paste group 6, but move it down here. And on this one, we have to make it a little bit smaller. Okay, now let's see if it works. Play. Yeah, this time it worked. Close and open. This dot thing doesn't look very good when I animate this. So we might do something about that. I'm not going to do that today, but you can experiment with whatever you want to do to make this look better. Okay, that's all for this tutorial. I hope you learned something. If you did, press the like button and subscribe for more XD tutorials. See you later.